Hello everyone, my name is Mario and I'm very happy to have the opportunity to present my paper at this workshop. In this paper, I take a motivational perspective on the personalization of gamification. A little bit about myself. I have a bachelor's in psychology from McGill and a master's from HEC in UX, and I'm currently doing a PhD at Polytechnique in industrial engineering. I'm part of the Tech 3 lab, which specializes in the analysis of interactions between technological interfaces and the employees or customers who use them. On to my paper. The gamification of information systems, defined as the use of game elements in a non-gaming context, has seen success in terms of engagement, performance, and enjoyment in a variety of contexts. Common game elements used are points, goals, and badges. However, the degree of success of gamification varies greatly between individuals. The current paper evaluates the effectiveness of personalized gamification in a warehouse management context. Additionally, this paper explores why personalized gamification can be more effective than non-personalized gamification. I will now present the theoretical background of the paper, starting with self-determination theory, which is a psychological theory of human motivation that has emerged as the leading theory in gamification with regards to explaining motivation. So self-determination theory states that three psychological needs are necessary for intrinsic motivation. So competence, which relates to a feeling of being able to overcome a challenge, autonomy, which is characterized by a sense of freedom when completing a task, and relatedness, which relates to a sense of connection to others. Motivation varies on a continuum. So on the left side completely, we have amotivation, which is no motivation at all, extrinsic motivation, in the middle, which comes from an external source, and intrinsic motivation, which comes from an internal source, on the right side completely. So motivation types along this continuum range from controlled on the left side to autonomous on the right side. In short, motivation is externally regulated, so controlled on the left side, and intrinsically regulated, autonomous, on the right side. To summarize, the continuum represents various levels of internalization of the motives to complete an action or to pursue a goal. So the more goal pursuit is internalized, the more that goal has a chance to be successful. What research has found is that goal pursuit internalization has great interpersonal variability. So in a gamification context, this implies that there's no universal group of gamification elements that will lead all individual or types of users to be intrinsically motivated. So based on self-determination theory, a user typology called Hexad was created by Tondello and his colleagues back in 2016. So each of the six user types are motivated to varying degrees by game elements. So more specifically, each type of individual internalizes various game elements in a different way. I will now present five of the six relevant user types of Hexad. So achievers are intrinsically motivated by gamification elements associated with the psychological need for competence. So they have a propensity to perform as best they could. Therefore, levels, challenges, goals, and leaderboards may lead to more autonomous motivation for achievers. Free spirits are intrinsically motivated by gamification that is supportive of the psychological need for autonomy. So this user type does not like to be contained or restrained by external factors. So game elements that may autonomously motivate free spirits are self-set goals and free exploration tasks. Socializers are intrinsically motivated by a sense of connection to others, so the psychological need for relatedness. Game elements, such as in-game chatting and team challenges, will lead socializers to be more autonomously motivated. Philanthropists are also intrinsically motivated by a sense of connection to others, so relatedness. They are different from socializers in the sense that they like altruism and purpose in their gamification. So philanthropists will be more autonomously motivated by game elements such as knowledge transfer or gifting. Players are intrinsically motivated by reward from an external source. So players will be more autonomously motivated by gamification elements such as points and achievements. Based on the reviewed literature, we hypothesize that the Hexad user type of participants would influence the goal-performance relationship. On to the methodology. Here's a layout of the experimental room. The dotted line represents the path participants go through the warehouse, passing by 5 bookshelves. I will now show a video giving an overview of the experiment. In this video, you will notice that the participant is equipped with neurophysiological equipment. While this paper only addresses performance measures, we are currently preparing a journal article which will address these neurophysiological measures once the analyses have been done. In the current experiment, goal setting and feedback game elements were integrated into a warehouse employee's interface. The 26 participants completed one order picking task per condition using a wearable management information system, as seen in the video. The picking task involved taking varying amounts of 12 items from a unique location on the bookshelves placed around the room. For example, one of the 12 picks per task could be to pick 8 erasers from location C03005. In condition 1, there was no gamification. In condition 2, self-set goals and feedback game elements were integrated into the interface. In condition 3, assigned goals and feedback were integrated. Our outcome measure was performance, which is divided into two, so time taken to complete the task and number of errors. The experimental protocol was as follows. Participants started by answering a demographics questionnaire and the Hexad. Then they went through a training task to familiarize themselves with the wearable device. Participants then went through condition 1 and then condition 2 and 3 in a counterbalanced order. Here's a screenshot of the different screens shown on the wearable device during condition 1. The screen on the left is the beginning of the task. Task number is automatically entered. The participant must simply click continue to begin the task. In the middle, there are 12 different screens, each representing one pick. As is shown, the first pick is 4 blue rubber bands from location A01001. Here are the screens for condition 2. There are 3 main differences compared to condition 1. First, participants get to choose their own goal. This is shown on the bottom left screen in a yellow rectangle. Here, participants have 3 choices. They are told that the average is 6 minutes and 38 seconds to complete the task. They have the choice to select 1 minute faster, so 5 minutes and 38 seconds, the average time, so 6 minutes and 38 seconds, or 1 minute slower, so 7 minutes and 38 seconds. The average time was derived from a 9-participant pretest done before the experimental data collection and with different participants. The second difference compared to condition 1 is shown in the middle screen, highlighted by a yellow rectangle. Under the current time, which is an upward counting timer since the beginning of the task, the chosen goal is written so that the participant can keep track of the chosen goal. The third difference with condition 1 is shown in the final screen, so the 2 screens on the right side. There are 2 alternatives. If the participant has reached a goal, the screen says, "You've reached a goal, you finished in X amount of time." However, if the participant doesn't reach the goal, the screen says, "Almost there, you finished in X amount of time." This represents feedback. Here are the screens for condition 3. They are fairly similar to the ones in condition 2, the only difference being on the bottom left screen, so before the participant begins the task. Here, the participant does not choose a goal, rather a goal is assigned. The assigned goal is the average time derived in the pretest and also the middle goal in condition 2, so 6 minutes and 38 seconds. As I said earlier, this experiment had neurophysiological measures that were not included in this article, but that will be included in a future journal article once they are analyzed. So we had electrodermal activity, electrocardiogram, and electroencephalography. For the results, here's the distribution of the Hexad user types among our sample. We had 5 achievers, 6 free spirits, 4 philanthropists, 5 socializers, 5 players, but no disruptors. Socializers and philanthropists were grouped together because there were no significant differences among them and for the sake of simplicity. 1 participant had to be excluded because of a tie for user type. Here we see 2 graphs. The left graph represents performance time for all conditions together, divided by user type. A lower bar indicates a quicker performance time. We can see here that achievers were more performant than free spirits, than socializers and philanthropists, but not players. The right graph shows performance errors, all conditions together, divided by user type. Here, a taller bar indicates less performance errors, therefore a better performance overall. We can see here that achievers had better performance than free spirits, socializers, and philanthropists, but not players. Both these graphs also show that socializers and philanthropists were less performant in terms of time and errors than all the other user types. On this screen, the graph on the left shows results for free spirits. The group of three bars on the left side shows performance time, while the three small bars on the right shows performance errors. We can see that free spirits are more performant in terms of time in condition 2 compared to condition 1 or condition 3. This means that when free spirits set their own goals, they were quicker to complete the task than in condition 1 or condition 3. When looking at errors, free spirits made less errors in condition 2 than in condition 1, but no differences were found between conditions 2 and 3. The right graph shows performance for players. In terms of time, players were more performant in condition 3 compared to the other two conditions. This means that they completed the task quicker in condition 3 than in condition 2 or 1. Condition 3 represents the assigned goal condition. In terms of errors, players were more performant in condition 3 compared to condition 1. However, there were no differences between condition 2 and condition 3. I'd like to put these results into perspective with a discussion. Starting with achievers. Achievers had a better performance than other user types, except players. This is as expected because they have a certain propensity to perform as best they could. Pursuing and reaching goals fills their need for competence, leading to the internalization of goal attainment as well as autonomous or intrinsic motivation. Results also demonstrated that they chose harder goals than other types, further illustrating that their need for competence is central to their autonomous motivation. Free spirits had a better performance in the condition where they were able to choose their own goals. When goals were self-set, these individuals feel a sense of freedom, so autonomy. Free spirits are particularly reactive to the fulfillment of the need for autonomy, in the sense that it facilitates their goal pursuit internalization, leading to autonomous motivation and stronger performance. In the condition in which goals were assigned, so condition 3, the need for autonomy was not supported, which may have led to worse performance by free spirits when compared to the self-set goal condition. Socializers and philanthropists had the worst performance of all. As I said earlier, these two types resonate with social game elements. This means that they better internalize motivators associated with the psychological need for relatedness. In the current study, we didn't have any kind of social game elements that could have brought out this feeling of relatedness. So it's kind of intuitive that philanthropists and socializers are less performant. Players are more performant in condition 3, where a goal was assigned. Players are particular in the sense that they are the only user to be motivated by extrinsic reward, like external praise, monetary reward, or points. In this case, the assigned goal or reaching that assigned goal was a sort of external praise. Players have the capacity to more autonomously regulate extrinsic motivators when compared to other user types. So as expected, they were more performant in the assigned goal condition, where an extrinsic motivator was present. So they better internalize this extrinsic motivator and exhibit autonomous motivation without the need for any of self-determination theory's three needs. In conclusion, personalized gamification seems to produce better results than non-personalized gamification in terms of both performance time and errors. There seems to be a sort of an alignment between user type and game elements, which leads to a better performance. When considering the implementation of gamification, practitioners and researchers should therefore assess user typology to select the proper gamification elements. This kind of personalized gamification fosters autonomous or intrinsic motivation, which can be especially beneficial in the workplace. In addition to being more performant, intrinsically motivated workers exhibit better well-being compared to unmotivated or extrinsically motivated workers. I would like to end by thanking my co-authors Sylvain Sénécal, Marc Fredette, Leonard Naki, Robert Pellerin, and Pierre Majoric-Léger. I would also like to thank NSERC Prompt, and the Quebec Research Fund for their financial support.